Alright guys, so I wanted to take some time and create a video to help you with your first assignment for this class. Your first assignment for Intro to Ed is going to be the start of a professional portfolio. This is going to be a place where we're going to collect a lot of examples of your work, information that you can use to give to practicum teachers. Eventually you'll use things like this when you go to college to start applying for a job. So we're really going to get started on what a professional portfolio looks like, and it starts with this kind of just developing the web page. And so today what I want to do is I want to show you just a couple of examples of what I'm looking for from last year, and yours does not have to look exactly like this. It's just so you can kind of get an idea. And then I'm going to take you into Google and walk you through how to actually make the web page. It's super easy, and I'm confident you'll be able to get it done pretty quickly. One thing that I do want to preface this with, though, is I really am hoping that we're creating a portfolio page that will move with you through your educational career. Certainly, if you continue on to best practices in the field experience program, we'll be using the same web page to add more information, but you also will probably want to have access to this when you go to college. So that being said, your SSC cards email will go away after you graduate from high school, and so I would actually encourage you to use your personal Gmail account to create this professional portfolio. That way you have it for as long as you want to have access to it, and nobody else controls whether you get it or don't get it. Okay? So the first step is to just get logged into your Gmail account, go to your Google Drive, and then we're going to create this web page. And all you really have to worry about today is the very first page. We'll get to that in a minute. The first page of your professional portfolio is kind of an introduction, a bio page, if you will. Now, I put a link on your class pages to some things. It's called the Create Your About Me page, and it looks like this, and it talks a little bit about what an elevator speech is. That's like a 30-second speech you might give to somebody when you introduce yourself. We're going to be doing that, but in written form. Things that you want to include in that is introduction to yourself, maybe a little bit about who you are, and kind of explain why you're going into the field of education. The biggest thing is that this is your hook. You want to grab people in and set yourself apart from other people who are doing this same activity. You want to be a little bit unique, a little bit special. Imagine that you're applying for a job and the interviewer sees 5 of these. They want to be able to pull out the ones that stand out to them. And so you're trying to make yourself stand out just a little bit. And so you'll see on the examples that I gave you, most people did exactly the same thing. But I want to encourage you to be a little bit creative. And I gave some examples of how you might be creative with this introduction piece. And I'm really open to this. This is ungraded. We're going to give some feedback to each other tomorrow when we start to look at this. But the idea is that we're creating something that's really usable and that we can build on. Okay, so here's a little kind of blurb about what you're doing. Let me show you some examples of what other students have done. These are last year's students. Here you can see Megan. She just has her portfolio name, and then this is her blurb about her. She puts a nice colorful picture that is reflective of what she has in her kind of description about what her introduction, if you will. Music, traveling, art, and you can see kind of her picture reflects that. And then she kind of explains why she's taking the class or what she is looking for in the field of education. This is exactly what I'm asking you to do, is just this front page. I'll give you another one to take a look at. This one belonged to a senior who graduated last year, a Strauss, and Strauss was really into music, so he used a picture of himself where he was doing music, and you can see how it coordinates with what he's saying about how his dreams or his goals in education are to go into the field of music. And so again, we have portfolio and then just a little blurb about him. I thought Treasure did a nice job on hers as well. She's talking about art education. Her background is very artistic, and then she has a nice fun photo of her that kind of represents a little bit more of that creative side of her. So her picture also is very correct, I guess, for this type of assignment. So this is all you're going to do. The rest of this video, I'm going to show you how to get that done. So we're going to go ahead and head back into your Google account, your Google Drive. Get you where you need to be. When you get to your Google Drive, you're going to go under New. You probably have to click down to where it says More. And we are going to go ahead and click on Google Sites. I've been working on my Google site a little bit, so it might not pop up exactly. Oh, it sure does. So we're going to get a page like this when we get to Google Sites. And the first thing that you probably will want to do is enter a name for your site. So I might say Myers Professional Portfolio. I'm going to title my page Amber J. Myers Education Portfolio. Okay. Now it doesn't have to look like this all of the time. I'll show you how to change this in just a moment, but we do want to go ahead and title it. Now if we move over just a little bit, here we can see I have different options for how I want my page to look. Most of them that I just showed you had this layout, but you can do 2-picture layout, you can do all pictures, no words, you can do a bunch of little pictures and put a little text underneath each one. It doesn't really matter which layout you use the one that is most appropriate for whatever type of introduction you're going to do. Again, if I come back here and say I decide I want to do some sort of story or pictures, I might need to use a layout that has more options for pictures. If I want to do a top 10 list, I might make a different type of, or need a different type of layout to communicate that most effectively. Now, say you did what I just did, and I clicked a couple different layouts and I don't want both of them, just come over to the side and delete that, whatever it is that you don't want. Delete, delete. And now I have here, I can add my picture, I can add whatever text I want to add. Now, my guess is that many of you are not going to love this standard coloring, and so in order to change that, we just come over to our themes button. Get my face out of the way. And with our themes button, you can choose any of these themes, but you can also you can change your font, change colorings. You can also change your image. Sorry, got lost there for a minute. I can change my image. So if I'm not loving this green that's back here, I can just click down here. This will automatically come up, change my image. I can upload something that I already have on my computer, or I can just select an image. So I might come here and I might select something. Maybe I like this one. And now I have an image that is more appropriate for me. Again, I can go ahead and I can change the way that this looks. I can change the type of font that I want to use. I can even stretch this out so that I have what I want. Okay. I can also change my background for my page. At this point, all you have to do for tomorrow is enter in your introduction, your elevator speech introduction. What you may also want to do, however, once you get this is what we're going to look at tomorrow, but you might want to go ahead and add a few more things to your page, additional pages, if you will. We do that by just coming over to the Pages tab. Currently have a home page, but I might add a new page called Educators Rising. Once I do that, you'll see that I have home listed up here, and in a minute Educators Rising now comes up as well. This is just going to be your directory, and I won't have anything on my Educator Rising page yet, but it will give me a directory. Here it is, Educators Rising, and I'll just create another page. Then I can flip back, and now I'm on my home page. You may want to add a link for sample lesson plans. Maybe you'll add a page for professional experience. My sample lesson plans didn't go on. That's okay. And then in the end, you can choose to have your tabs across the top, or we can put them on the side. And I have to remember how to do that. I'm not for sure right now. Table of contents. No. Well, that is certainly something we can figure out later. Notice under your insert, you can embed a video if you choose to do that. If you want to put a picture, if you have something on your drive that you want to pull in, that's great too. Again, all I'm looking for from you tomorrow is this home page where you're introducing yourself. You're going to just pick your design, pick your layout from the table of contents, and fill in your introduction information. And we'll take a look at that again tomorrow. So any questions, remember you can see me or Mrs. Vanderzijn, you email me, or see Ms. Vanderzijn in the library. I'm sure she can help you. The last thing that I would say is before tomorrow, go ahead and publish your document so that I can see that. When you hit publish, it'll give you a web address that you can publish, and then I'm going to ask you to head back on over to our class pages and in class pages under your assignment submissions, you'll see a discussion for your professional website. And when you add that in, you'll just hit create a new post, put a title, and then I want you to go ahead and share the link. And you'll hit link, click your link right here. Okay. And then the link will show there, and then that will help me to be able to get access to this when we're using it in class tomorrow. So get that web page done. We'll talk about them tomorrow. Everybody's going to show and tell tomorrow, so be ready to go. See you then.